Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to Throwbacks, where we talk all things cool and retro. Today we've got the brand new San Diego Comic-Con exclusive and or Hasbro Pulse exclusive, if you were lucky to get it from either source, Cold Slither 4-pack. And this thing is massive. They sent it to me in a gigantic box. I was very lucky to get this. I'm very appreciative and happy to share my findings with you guys if you want to take a look at it. I know there's other videos out there by now, but this one is mine, and we will look. Right off the bat, this box is incredible. So many Easter eggs on it. It's got the classic, not so much classic, but you know what I mean, Dreadnoks logo. Very cool artwork there. Cold Slither. I don't remember Cold Slither having that particular artwork back in the cartoon, but maybe they did. I don't know. You'll be joining us soon. Oh, so cool. So much nice little artsy stuff on the back. Oh my gosh. It just really puts you right in the world of Cold Slither. And it's kind of a mix of, you know, the cartoon and action figure comic, because you know they're all different. Very neat there. I love it's like it's like Duke's face with a knife in it, and then there's like one of Zartan's like fake faces hanging on the newspaper. What is all that? Well, we'll take a look at it. Some comics. Oh, that's awesome. Sorry, I'm getting into this artwork. It's got poster for the Misfits. That's awesome. Which, of course, not, you know, Glenn and the boys, but the Sunbow universe. It's got Torch's flamethrower just chilling there. Of course, the Springfield Theater. Extensive Enterprises presents. Of course they do. Band of Vipers World Tour. Of course, Springfield, as most of us know, is the secret location of Cobra headquarters. Why is it called Springfield? Because, you know, there's so many Springfields in America. You know, it's just supposed to tell you Springfield, America. Not really a specific place, but it's kind of cool. A little Easter egg. And, of course, Jim and the Holograms. Truly outrageous. Super awesome. I hope they do classified versions of Jim, because I'm the guy that would buy them. The Average Joes, maybe they'll do a set of those too, who knows. There's Ripper's stuff, just hanging out, chilling. Alright, Cold Slither forever. Okay, sorry, I'm just fascinated with this box. It's just really cool. Hello, governor. That's funny. Alright, and, it's like a... Nope, nothing really impressive there. Alright, so, sorry to spend so much time on this box. It's just super awesome. And it's huge, so it's going to be hard to get into frame. It has a little slip that comes off. And, of course, Zartan is... she is selling tickets. Because why wouldn't she? Of course, Zartan didn't really exist when they came up with Cold Slither, so... it's cool to include her in some way, shape, or form. That is hilarious. First time I've seen that. And you see a little Extensive Enterprises poster there. That's cool. What is that poster? I can't quite make it out. Colton's Place. And there's a Destro symbol. Some, you know, just so much cool little Easter eggs. The Red Rocket, you know, that was a fun episode of the Cartoon River. I love how they, you know, Hasbro is incorporating all this stuff from action figure lore, cartoon lore, comic lore. Just makes G.I. Joe such a bigger and cooler place. So, without further ado, let's pull this curtain up to introduce our main act, Cold Slither, and it is massive, massive. So, of course, we see Zartan front and center with his beautiful Warlock BC Rich base there. We have Buzzer with a crazy look on his face with a super sweet looking drum set and his crazy mohawk. Long live Cobra! Okay. And then we got, let's see, Ripper over here. With also, I love how they gave him BC Riches. That's cool. Nothing more 80s guitar than BC Riches. And they are dressed in their cartoon accurate apparel. It even comes with like a whole stack of, a little amp there. Yeah. Poor Torch gets stuck with playing the guitar. But that is awesome. It looks great. Okay, so let's take them out of there and see what we think. And here they are out of the outer box. I just wanted to show them like this for just a second to let you know that if you want to keep them together like this, you can. For the big kind of stage diorama, put it together. I think that looks cool. But we're going to take them out of there and see what it looks like. So here is the whole stage pulled out and yeah, more or less haphazardly put together just so you can kind of see what it looks like. Of course, drums are big, so they don't really fit super well back there. It's funny, I was opening it out and I was like, oh man, I love when they actually make instruments that look realistic. And I was like, man, I hope he comes with like a little kick drum. Sure enough, there's a little kick bass drum kick beater in there. I'll show it to you later. We're gonna take a look at it, but just want to show you guys what they look like set up on stage. And I think this is amazing. I was really iffy when they first announced it. I was like, well, okay, Cold Slither. I don't know. Kind of a throwaway gag on, one episode they did in the cartoon. But I feel like they really marketed it really well. They turned it into something way bigger than what it was. I mean, if you went to San Diego Comic-Con, which sadly I could not go, but they actually had a real band with real metal musicians that they, dressed up like the Dreadnoks and played some songs. They got a whole album coming out. It's a whole thing. It's actually pretty cool. You should look into it. It's all on YouTube. Hasbro's channel. It's pretty neat. I'm not gonna link it or anything. You can find it. You probably already know about it. You've already seen it if you're watching this video. But I just wanted to show you these figures. And one thing I gotta say, not only am I impressed by these guys, I have to wonder. Like a lot of times you get these big sets. Mostly from like Star Wars. Like you're like, oh, that's cool. But they'll come out with it late again and. They'll come out individually, but I don't know about this, I mean, are you going to be able to get the instruments and like with the guitars and drums? I mean, just the drum set alone is pretty amazing that they actually made that, and they made all the instruments look realistic, which I like. I always hate when, they animate instruments and they look cheesy, they don't look right. They got the wrong strings and, they're just goofy, but they did a good job, man. They look accurate, as to what these things would have looked like in the 80s. I mean, if I had to nitpick, Zartan's bass could be a little bigger, but, Zartan's a big guy, so why not? It's very fitting that they put Ripper on the guitar so he can rip. Yeah, Buzzer looks absolutely insane with a mohawk. I'm here for it. I think it's great. But I love what they've done with this set. Like I said, I wasn't quite in on it, but I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get it. And when it first came out, on whatever day it was, you're probably going to watch this video, way further down the road than when it came out at this point. But, I missed it, the initial, like, here it is on Hasbro Pulse. I was like, bummer, and then it came out a couple days later, and, Brad was like, hey, it's up on Hasbro Pulse. And I was like, oh, cool. Let me, still like a 1 in a billion chance of getting it, and I got one. So, pretty happy about that. And it's just a very impressive set all together. I like that you can pull the stage out, or you can get away. You can discard these side pieces and probably put them all in the main piece there. But like I said, the drums are big, so they're not gonna all fit on there perfectly, like in a perfect world. But I think it looks cool, and I really hope you guys all were able to get this if you wanted one. It kills me when I see these kind of things on the secondary market, like eBay and whatnot, for crazy prices, you know, because people buy them just to like resell them. I'm like, come on, you know, give people a chance. Give the fans a chance, because I know it's hard as it is to go to San Diego Comic-Con and buy anything, any kind of merch or whatever they got going on there, much less to snag it on Hasbro Pulse. Hasbro Pulse is crazy sometimes. I mean, I'm not going to put them down or anything, but the way they, you know, stuff will go up and then it's just sold out in seconds. I don't understand. Like, what? You know, like, just, you know, I mean, make it a pre-order, if anything. I mean, don't you want to sell these things? I know, you know, I would. You know, they just leave money on the table sometimes. It's crazy. But this set is pretty cool. I can't imagine these guys getting a standard release. Maybe they will. I don't know. I hope so, because it sucks for anybody that missed out not to be able to get them, because they're really cool. I'm very happy I got one. Let's take a look at them. Okay, so the highlight of this set for me is going to be Buzzer, because Buzzer is a nut. And I think it's only fitting that they made him the drummer. You know, I used to play drums, and so I appreciate that they gave him a proper kit. You know, the bass drum has the little opening there. You know, they didn't have to make any of this as realistic as they did, but I am so impressed. Like, here's a crash cymbal. You know, if I nitpicked, I would give them like one more, like a ride cymbal, like one more cymbal. But anyway, they have the hi-hats, and all these things come apart. You know, if you want to assume it's got the, you know, you can put the foot pedal to, you know, and I'm sorry, guys. You can fast forward this part if you want, but I have to look at all these pieces because the detail they put in this, to me, is incredible. I got the floor tom. The two tom-toms are very accurate. They do come apart. You can take all this apart if you want. Like I said, it does come with the bass drum kick pedal. How cool is that? Did you ever think we'd get one of these? You know, I mean, like Super 7 put out the one Zartan figure for Cold Slither. He's got, you know, a little silly guitar and, you know, very, very cartoon accurate. But it's what I love about Classified. They do have a lot of realism in all the stuff they make. I guess a lot of the modern military stuff, I'm like, well, whatever, you know. But this is probably the first toy I've ever seen where they make actual accurate-looking instruments for a fictitious band. So, and even the drum stool looks good. Incredible. So Buzzer himself, pretty neat. They did, I love his little Cold Slither jean jacket. And of course he has his ponytail, is to not be too ridiculous, because, like, you know, you're like, what happened to his hair? You know, like, what is his hair like? You know, his glasses. Dude, I'm going to keep his drumsticks in his hands, because I don't want to lose them. And they did a good job on the drumsticks. What do you know? So, very impressed. Did I ever think I would get a Cold Slither action figure set? No. He's got a little tattoo there. His glasses come off, and he looks like a nut. He looks crazy. He looks like he is in his element. So let's take a look at Zartan, which he comes in his very animated, accurate outfit. A lot of detail on the boots and everything. Again, a lot of detail on his bass. Looks really cool. Let's look at that. Man, he's the major rager on the 4-string. Yeah. And, oh, that's not quite exactly a BC Rich. We get it. We know that's what it's supposed to be. You know, can't be having lawsuits and whatnot. His face looks great. Very Zartanish. And again, I think the band that, you know, they put together for Comic-Con, hopefully they stay a band. I think that'd be awesome. But, you know, they're all dudes from, like, what was it, Exhumed, I think, and KMFDM, and, you know, I don't know their names, forgive me, but, you know, you can look it up online and see who they all are if you're interested. But, and that performance they did at San Diego Comic-Con was very impressive. I thought it was good. And even, what's her name? Britta, the girl who sang the voice of Jim. God, I can't think of her name off the top of my head. I'm embarrassed. Anyway, she got up on stage and sang a song with him. It was cool. All right, let's look at Torch. Torch looks terrific. I love the head sculpt on him. Very cool. Glad they went with the more iconic chops, you know, like Lemmy, instead of the, you know, just full beard like they drew him in the cartoon. I always thought that made him look too much like Ripper. I think he stands apart, you know. And, you know, I don't know too much about guitars, but I gotta admit this is very detailed and looks pretty darn accurate to me. They have little flames and whatnot. I think that's awesome. He's got his cartoon accurate outfit on. Very, very 80s boots. You know, something like you'd see Michael J. Fox wearing or something. Pretty cool. And who better to rip a ear-bleeding solo than Ripper with his BC Rich Flying V, which, if it was like the other, like a different headstock, I would swear it was like the Kerry King model, but if you know, you know, I guess. But anyway, he looks great. Sorry for being out of focus there. I believe his sunglasses do come off. Or maybe not, or maybe they're just on there really well. Well, I'm going to leave them because they look good like that. His hair looked great. You can see part of his tattoo there. Got a tattoo there. I love when they put tattoos on figures. I just think it, you know, gives them so much detail. And, you know, of course, he's got his 6-stringed electric Flying V guitar. Or maybe not Flying V, but V-shaped, you know. Got the nice little tremolo on there. I mean, look at that, man. The pickups look real. I love that they just took a real guitar and said, "Yep, we're just gonna make it a real guitar, not like little silly cartoon guitars like they had in the cartoon, obviously." But you know, you do what you got to do. He's got a little sash there on his belt, and he's got his very 80s looking outfit. It's great. Is that, it actually looks like he's wearing Torch's leather jacket, but I think that's what he wore in the cartoon. That's what they're going for. That cartoon accuracy with that little bit of realism, you know, like the guitars and whatnot, and the drums and accessories. I just feel like that's what Classified is about, and they do a great job at it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up so it's not ridiculously long, but thank you if you've watched this video this far through. Please give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We go over new fun stuff, unboxing cool and retro stuff every single day. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Power Rangers, NECA, Marvel, you name it. We look at it, we like it, we nerd out over it, and we have fun. So please join us, and thank you for joining us today on behalf of me and Big Buddy Brad. We are going to throw one back, and until next time, Cobra!